Hey folks, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm fighting off a little laryngitis, so bear with me. When you log in, you're going to go to emsportal.sinclair.edu. That's the site that you've been going in doing your evaluations and looking at lab forms and so forth. We'll go over this when we do orientation as well, but if you want to get started scheduling, you're welcome to do that now. First day you can do clinical is January 12th of 2026 at 12:01 a.m. So if you click on clinical forms here, I've got more options than you do, but if you click on clinical forms and you come down here, you've got clinical sites available. When you click on that tab, that will bring you here, and it's showing here that you're on your field sites. So I want to switch over to hospitals. You're not able to do anything in the field until June, end of June. So we're going to switch over to hospitals. Now, one thing I do want to bring to your attention here, if you look, Kettering has a link to schedule, and I'll show you that in a second, but we're limited in what sites we have availability for our people. You can schedule at additional sites. They'll let you show up, but we will end up invalidating your clinical if you go to the wrong site. So if you try to go to Huber or Piqua or one of the other sites, you're not able to use those sites. This is the list of places you can use: Kettering, Maine, Kettering, Dayton, Kettering, Hamilton, Kettering, Greene, Kettering, Miamisburg, and Soin. Ellen Kettering, Washington Township. That's it. That's the list. So the other one is Premier. Premier, we're limited a little bit as well. We don't have, I think it's Beaver Creek is another one, but Atrium Medical Center, Miami Valley, Maine, Miami Valley North, Miami Valley South, and Upper Valley Medical Center are the ones that we are allowed to use. Now, one thing I do want to clarify with you real quick. If you're scheduling these shifts, Miami Valley, Maine, and Kettering, Maine tend to be the best sites because they have the largest selection. You've got the biggest option of getting more types and conditions of patients. We'll talk about that during orientation. But what I recommend is if you say, I live in Xenia, I want to do Greene for everything, that's perfectly fine. I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend you do at least one, if not two shifts at one of the bigs. So come in and do something at Miami Valley, Maine, or do something at Kettering, Maine. Those are the ones that are going to be the best variety of things. If you want to do things at one of the other sites, you want to do everything at North or at South, or if you want to do something at Washington Township or at Miamisburg, any of those things are perfectly fine. You can do the bulk of your time there, but you're going to want to do a shift. When you schedule the shifts with me, that'll be done differently, and I'll walk you through that when we do orientation. I'm going to try and get you guys scheduled in here the first week of January, or first week of class, or the second week of class, or the third week of class. I've got a bunch of you to get through, so it'll probably take me 3 weeks to get through everyone. But you do not need to wait to meet with me to do your first clinical shift. So if you can't schedule with me until the second or the third week, you're still welcome to go in because the orientation will tell you what you need to do. Meetings with me are just to make sure I'm one-on-one with you and I get you on the right track. We meet for a couple hours. If you got questions, feel free to send me an email. Other than that, that's really the whole thing. Let me show you real quick here how these clinical scheduling things work. So if I click over here, this is booking at Kettering, and I'm going to say I'd like to go to Greene, for example. So if I come down here, if you take a look, there's also a show more services on here. So there's Troy, Franklin, Huber, Middletown, Preble, Springfield. Those are not sites that we can use. It has to be one of those others that's on the list. So let me take a look here at Kettering, Miamisburg, ED. And if I click over here, now if you look, there's some other sites. There's labor and delivery and cath lab. We'll talk about that at orientation. Please don't schedule ICUs or L&D or 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 any of that stuff at this point. But if I want to look at my schedule, I just click over here, and you'll find that Miami Valley's and Premier and Dayton Children's eventually are all done the same way. Don't schedule anything at Dayton Children's yet. We're going to wait because we're doing our orientation. We'll talk through all that stuff. But if I want to go here on, for example, January 20th, click over January 20th, and I want to do the 8 a.m. shift. And then it's going to ask you to put your first and last name, your email address, and so forth. For the email, use your Sinclair email. They will not know who you are, and they're not going to accept you if your email comes back as firedog26@gmail.com. So james.simonson@sinclair.edu is on a roster that they have received, and they'll say, yes, this is an approved Sinclair student. I will allow this to work. Otherwise, they'll probably end up canceling you and causing you a bunch of headaches. So make sure that you're listing what you're marked with. They have places for you to click this, and you can click through and say, yes, I'm affiliated with Sinclair. That's fine. And let them know, are you there for paramedic, obviously. And then when you book that, you'll get an email confirmation. It's important that you type your email address in correctly. I have people do that periodically, and I don't have access to any of this stuff, so I don't have any way of going through and fixing this. So just again, be careful with what you're doing when you schedule it. If you got a question, send me an email, and I'll be happy to walk people through this when we're at our orientation as well. Let me just very quickly click over here, and I'll show you Premier's as well. So when you bring up Premier's site, Premier has their different options. They've got Atrium, North, South. They have Jamestown. We're looking into that. Austin and Beaver Creek are such low volume, we're probably not going to worry about it. But ultimately, you've got Miami Valley South, North, Upper Valley, Atrium, and Miami Valley, Maine. So if we're looking at Miami Valley, Maine, you can click on in here, and it's the same basic premise. Switch over, I want to say, let's do Valentine's Day here for fun. Go with April 14th. Looks like it's already booked up. So my guess is there's probably some kind of event or something that's happening on there, or they have something else that's blocked out on this. So if I go in here, let's try Atrium, for example. And if I want to do this, so they've got April 14th is available here. So April 14th at 8 a.m. It's got things pre-populated in here. It depends on if you've been scheduling with them before. Put your phone number in there, and again, put your locations. But make sure that you're using your Sinclair email addresses when you schedule these things. If you have any questions, let me know, and or if you have any problems. Other than that, best of luck, and we'll see you at the orientation.